busy today because we're having a heat wave in LA, and it's like, curly hair, naturally curly hair goes woof when it's really hot and humid. I'm like, my eyelids are sweating today. That's how bad it's like, whew, give girls some ice, because I'm actually from Canada originally, so I get really hot easily. I've been here almost 5 years and haven't been able to acclimatize to the weather. So, I take the good with the bad, but it's always good to wake up with the weather being sunny, so I can't complain. Definitely can't. But if you're wondering why my hair's a little wild today, that's why. So I'm excited today about the Celebrity Spotlight, because we are having so many great celebrities in the spotlight this month, because actually if you take a look at a lot of the celebrity birth dates in the month of August, there's a lot of the shock and awe performers. There's a lot of, I think Rihanna's in this month, we did Madonna, and now we're doing Michael Jackson. I think there's more than that too if you take a look at the August birth dates, because of the fact that the 8th month, or the 8th energy, is very independent, very doubtless, very confident and assertive. It's very, I like to call it shock and awe, because it's actually called the daredevil syndrome. So although Michael Jackson was very kind of withdrawn and more of an introvert, when he performed, he really brought everything he had to the stage and to his performance. So he really did fit into that category, and he has double 8s in his date of birth, so that gives him that daredevil, shock and awe energy that a lot of those performers had in their date of birth as well. So he, I'm glad to be able to do his numbers, because although he's passed, of course, he was always intriguing to me because of that introverted energy, yet he was the shock and awe performer. So it was just a very curious energy, and I really didn't sit down before and really take a deep look at his chart, but doing so for this week's spotlight, it's very interesting indeed. So first of all, he is a life path 42/6. So we add 4 plus 2 is 6, and I want to say it like that instead of just saying he was a 6, because the 42 is actually a very rare combination of the 6. We usually see a 24/6 or a 33/6. There's all kinds of different combinations we can have, but like a 15/6, but the 42/6 is rarely seen, and it's leading with the 4, which is very, I guess you could call it very, stable and organized and grounded. But in his case, because there's kind of a conflict going on there, because 4 is the symbol of the square and it's 4 sides, so it's very stable, very grounding, very practical. But when you're a 6, you're a big dreamer, you're also a visionary, you see the bigger picture, that kind of thing. So, and it's also the motherly nurturer. So he did like to kind of hang with children and be in that child's world. And he also liked animals as well, which is another sign of that nurturing 6. But, his 4 was used more for being what I like to call these days the bridge energy, because he kind of was ahead of his time in a way, because the bridge energy, I like to call it, because of the fact that in humans, a human existence, we think, we feel, and we do. And then the 4th level would be that, wait a second, I'm a conscious creator, I can actually create my own destiny. So it's like the conscious being, or the consciously aware of being able to make our own choices and decisions which ultimately affect our destiny or our outcome. So that 4 energy is like that bridge to the next level. So I think, him being in that world of children and wanting to escape and all of that stuff, he was using it more in that way than in the stable, grounded sense. And, he did have the gift, if you add his month and his day and reduce it down, it was a 10, which is the number of communication, of course. So he was all about communication and getting things across through communication. Hello, he was, a performer. And also his year added down to a 23/5, which is the expressive artist. So obviously, being the number of creativity, which is the 6, having the gift of the 10, which is communication, and having the how does he share that gift, as the expressive artist, he was definitely meant to be that. But the one intriguing thing is that he has a lot of soul plane energy. Most of his numbers are really clustered in the soul plane. So he was extremely hypersensitive. He was, obviously that contributed to his introverted state, of course, but also I think that's another reason he liked to be around children, because he could be himself, because he wasn't afraid to get hurt. But other people he kept at arm's length. So that was definitely one of his weak areas for sure, and why he was so misunderstood. And he also had just a single 1 on his chart, which means he didn't have the ability to verbally express how he felt or what he needed or what he wanted in relationships and things like that. So we do know he had a little bit of relationship trauma and struggles. And when he died, he was actually in a personal year of 12-3, which is everything's coming together, everything's coming full circle. Loose ends are being tied up. So it's just really interesting to see what went on with him and how it all played out. But you know, look his date of birth up, check him out, because it's really interesting. Do his numbers. There's lots of resources on the internet to allow you to do that, of course. But you know, he's an interesting man. He was an interesting man, and he'll always be one of those legends that stays in everybody's mind. So please do tune in again next week, and we'll have another celebrity spotlight here on LotteryUSA.com.